Hello, hello, this is Paulina from Paulina Art Stuff, and today we're gonna do a color along in this wonderful book by Christl Vogls. It's called Ausmalreise, des Verwunschene Wald. In English it's Coloring Journey, the Enchanted Forest. And it's an autumn themed book with all these mushroom characters and little mouses. And I picked out this page for today, and I also want to color that one in the same color scheme, but today we're only gonna focus on this side. And these are the colors that I picked. These are Faber-Castell Polychromos pencils that we are gonna work with today. And I'm also gonna use my pencil holder, and I literally found a different seller on AliExpress that sold them about like a few days ago, so I will link it in my description. So if you want it, check it out. You know, it could be already sold out again because they don't have a lot in stock, but then at least you know how to find them and keep an eye on AliExpress if they pop up, because it's just a matter of keeping an eye on it because they do pop up from time to time. So that's something I wanted to tell you. Then I chose a picture from this book. It's a flower fairy book. It's from the collection. And it's basically a set with all the tiny books in it. See? With all the seasons. Spring, summer, autumn, winter, trees, garden, wayside, and the alphabet. So they all have like artwork from Cicely Mary Barker, I believe. And I picked the autumn book because this is an autumn based book. So I was like, let's see what this book has. So I picked out a picture from here, which is this one. And that's what I based these colors on, as you can tell. I did pick some brighter greens, as you can see. And yeah, we're gonna see what we can do to make that into this drawing. What we can do, because we have got a lot of grass here. We've got her skirt that on the picture he has like a green legging, but as you can see, her skirt and her head are the same pattern. So I would prefer them to be red like his head, but that also means that her skirt will be red, and so will their heads. So that means that we have to be improvising a little bit when we color the bottom, because if we would go with this picture and pick green for her dress, and we would also want to do the grass green, that wouldn't work. So we could either do like the leaves in the same colors like this, and then go to a lighter green here, and then just keep this red, you know, because that makes more sense. Then we can use some brown on the beetle and maybe the mushroom. This will also be a green frog, so that's also then solved, so it won't disappear. And the mouse can be orangey tones or brown tones, like these ones, for instance. So yeah, that's our possibility. So I think that's about the idea. And the bird can also be in the brown tones with maybe some yellows for a pop of color, something like that. I'm not sure yet. We will see when we get to it. So I will keep this in mind. I will hold it open, hopefully. I'll put it next to me to the side so I can look at it from time to time if it works. Let me put some clips on it because it keeps closing back. There we go. Now at least it won't close on me. Okay, let's make some space so I can put it down. I've got some pencils over there. Okay. Stay put, please. I'm not sure if it's gonna stay, but at least it's somewhere. Maybe that will work better. Yeah, that will work better. Okay, good. Good. Okay, so now I've got my picture that I want to use as inspiration. I've got it close by so I can look at it from time to time. And what we will start with is their heads with the red tones, just like the little fellas in the picture. So that's our first move. So we're gonna straight away start with the darkest red, which is 121. Let's see, what's the name? Pale Geranium Lake 121 by Faber-Castell Polychromos. If you do not own any Polychromos, you can pick any other pencil brand that you do have, because well, that's not entirely true. If we're gonna blend and layer, then you might need an oil-based pencil, because they roughly work the same, in the same way that you can layer. So if you've got pencils that can layer, it's all right. So yeah, you know your pencils the best of what you own. So you can use Colour probably. What else? Artex probably. A lot of brands will do just fine, as long as they can blend a little bit, because I don't know how much layers I'm gonna add, but I might do some blending on this one. So we will see. Let's start. I will zoom you in for this one because it's a really like tiny details. So let's see how close that will bring us. Oh yeah, very close. Beautiful. I'm going to move you a little bit up, and we're going to start with the little fella, the little mushroom kids. And let's add in some shading. We're going to add some shading on the left of the mushroom and on the right to start with. And we're going to slowly work our way inside. I don't want to add too much in one go. So this is just a light layer. And I'll do the same on this side. And I'll leave everything else empty for now. I only want to do some red right now. Adding some more layers. So I have no idea. Hold up. I didn't put a sheet underneath the page. Let me put this behind it, because I already did this one. And if I press too hard, I will have like it pressing onto each other. So then you get the color of the other page. That's not what I want. So I put in some protection in order to prevent that from happening. So now we do the same on this one. But this one has a cricket. Is that called a cricket? A springhaan? I don't know. I think it's a cricket in English. In Dutch it's called springhaan because they jump. Spring is jump. But yeah, you know what it is. A hopper. That sounds fun. Yeah, we call it a hopper. Locust, that's also another name for it probably. Yeah, my brain is working. Okay, I'm gonna make this part really dark, and I'm gonna do the same on the left. So yeah, I was looking at the collection of books from this artist, and there are, I think, 5 in this configuration, like the small ones, the square ones, and they are from all the seasons. And the 5th one is like a fairy tale one with fairy tale depictions. So you got like spring, summer, which is a mermaid one, the summer one, autumn, which is this one, and a winter one, which is with other characters as well. It has a lot of gnomes in it. It's a bit different. It has also a lot of inside scenes. And I was looking at them because I really like this book, but the pictures are really small, which is, on one hand, that's really good, but on the other hand, you can see how detailed it is. So that makes it like not approachable for a lot of people because they don't like those fiddly things to color. And I saw this big giant ass one that was called the vierjarige. That means like the 4 seasons. So that's basically a compilation book of the 4 season books, which contain about 20 pages from each book, roughly, give or take, like 11 spreads. So left and right, 11 out of each book, meaning you will get like 22 pages out of each book. And these books have, let me check how many pages it has. 87. So divided by 2 means 43 spreads roughly, because this is the last one. Yeah, 43 spreads. So out of the 43 spreads, you only get 11 from each book. And they are printed in a bigger size. So they're like really big. They're even bigger than a mythographic. They're about like a quarter, no, I think half an inch bigger, which is about 2 centimeters, give or take. 1.5, 2 centimeters, which I think is half an inch or something. I don't know exactly, but it's not much. It's about that much bigger, 1.5. So that is half an inch, probably, roughly, than a mythographic. So it's half an inch bigger than a mythographic. So I was like, oh, that's nice. Then they're nice and big, you know. But yeah, I haven't decided if I want it yet, because this is the only book that I own. And I've looked through the other ones. And I do like them, but are there any more Mushroom Children? I don't think so. No. Okay, let's skip to a different color. Let's take the next one, 117. And then I will tell you some more about the big book. Light Cadmium Red, 117. So yeah, I was looking at the big book because I saw a flip through on Jodie's Moments, I believe. I'm not sure. And yeah, she was flipping through it, showing also the size difference and the paper difference. And it basically was indeed a compilation book. And she showed which pages came from which books. So if you already own the books, you might only want it as a collector's item, maybe. And if you don't own the books, it might be a good beginner book for people. So what I do now is I blend into the red. I'm not sure if you can really tell. Yeah, like this you can tell. And then I make it soft to the inside for the next color. So I don't know how much I want of this. So I take it slow, because I might add in more layers after we've done this. So that's why I don't want to go in too rough-handed. So yeah, I'm thinking about the compilation book, but first I want to see if I would color in this one, you know, if I pick it out, or if I just leave it in my closet and don't touch it. Because if I don't touch this one, I will definitely not touch the big one. So then it would be a waste to buy it. But if I do touch it, then the question is, do I want the big one? Or do I go for a different, smaller one and have even more pages? Because I looked at the pages that were chosen, and I actually liked some that were not in the big book. So, and the same is with this one. Like this one is also not in the big book. And this is one of my favorites. So yeah, that's the question I have to ask myself. Are there enough pages in the smaller books that I prefer to the bigger one for me to buy a second small one? Or do I say, no, I don't color it as much and I think I want to go for the big one? All the questions you ask yourself while looking through books. Because I don't want to like have a massive collection, you know, like I'm already a little bit overwhelmed with the choices that I have right now. So I don't want to make it any, I said I wanted the skirt red as well. And I forgot it completely. Okay, let's go back to the 121, the pale Geranium Lake. So yeah, that's all I want to say about the big book, that I'm thinking about it. I'm gonna, like, you see these lines, yes? These ones. Oh, that's the thread, by the way. Like these, that indicates that there's a fold in it. So what I do is I place my shadow next to the line. But this is the side of the dress, so I want it darker anyway. And then this part I want to keep light all the way up. But because there's a fold here as well, I do a little bit with the red. Just a little bit. And I'm like not thinking about those because that's too much. Then there's another fold here, so I want it to the left of it again. And softer to the bottom. So we can make a nice blend. Okay, then I'll do the same for this one on the inside. I want to avoid the dots. I want to keep them white. like that. And then on this side, that's the yarn still. I still get confused every time. Then on this one, I use this ply to color, and this one. Again, the side of the dress. So I want to color in this whole bit. So yeah, because these books are smaller, you have less space to fill. And if they're like as big as a mythographic or even a little bit bigger, that's like at least double the size almost for you to color, you know, like it's a lot more inches and centimeters to cover up while coloring. So yeah, you have to ask yourself, what do you prefer? Do you prefer a bigger book so you don't have to squint and see all those tiny details, or do you prefer the smaller ones because they're like less big and faster to do? Those are the questions that I also ask myself, because I do like a smaller book, but with this many detail, sometimes you want it bigger because then you can do more, you know, more effects, more everything. Now we've got like her middle waist part, but this is hanging over her skirt. So you also see that the artist or the illustrator made lines to indicate there's a shadow. So what we will do is we're also gonna color those parts that she shaded. Just like that. And we also do it on these parts that she shaded. As you can see, she also did it on the bottom. So let's do those as well. And a little bit on this one. And it also gives some variation at the same time. So yeah, I put it on my wish list, the big one. And when it gets to my birthday in January, I will have another look. Okay, I think this is enough for now with the red. Let's go to the 117 that we just used, which is called Light Cadmium Red, 117. And let's add it in next to the red. If you want more red, you could extend this part. So you have less with the lighter colors. I don't know how much red I want yet, but I think I want it like more on the brighter side with more yellows and oranges as well. That's why I am not adding too much red. I can always add more. I'm also going to do this on the left side a little bit. I'm just coloring over what I already placed, because I want to blend it out. And this is where oil pencils shine. They like layering. Let me see. This is the wire that she is rolling, or the vice versa. I'm not sure. So I want some shading in between. Probably. I'm just gonna color it lightly because I don't know exactly where I want it. And then we also do that on this side. So yeah, if you haven't heard of the big book, that's what it is. It's a compilation book. So if you already own all of them, I wouldn't, you might not want to buy it. The paper looked really nice though. So I'm considering. I'm not convinced. Not yet. I'm not convinced yet. What I usually do when I'm not convinced is I put it on my wish list, so I know it's like, so I don't have to keep thinking about it all the time, but I can still have a look once a month, you know, like what do I have on my wish list, and then check it out again with a flip through, whatever, you know, to see if I still like it. And if I still like it when it comes to the time that I want to buy stuff, which is usually a little while later, then I can consider buying it. If I'm then still doubting, I'll put it back on the wish list for the next round of purchases, and then I can think about it again. And that's how my cycle continues. I just keep looking. Like here are also those lines, but now we're going to do that with the second color. Just a little bit. Yeah, I think that's nice enough. It looks really orange on screen, but in reality it's a little bit more reddish. Yeah, that's looking a bit better to what it is. But it always looks a bit brighter on the screen for some reason. Okay, I'm gonna take the next orange, which is 150. We're just gonna slowly move our way through the oranges. Dark cadmium orange. I really like the cute little gnomes. Like, that's why I like these books, because of the little ones and the little animals. My sister mentioned that these books have the same vibe as Clara Markova, and I'm like, nope, they don't. But to her they do, and to me they don't. So yeah, the only difference is that her people are a bit wonky for Clara, and these ones are correct, as I would say. That's also what my sister said. It just made me laugh. And but I'm like, yeah, but still, I prefer Clara over this one. Maybe because this one is like really busy, maybe, and more realistic as well. So that's probably what is holding me back from coloring in these. Because I used to do realistic drawings of people and animals for a very long time in black and white, and I think I grew over that, and I'm now like iffy or something to color anything that's too realistic. So I do have some mythographic books, but like only the cute ones from Joseph Kattenbang. That's about the amount of realistic that I can handle, but not for every book. So it really depends on what is on the picture, if I would like to color it still. And the same counts for these, you know, like, yes, it's more realistic, but it's still a fantasy element, so I still like it. Oh my god, I'm doing it again. You see what I'm doing? I'm okay. That's not a fold. That's the wire, Pauline. Okay. I didn't do this part yet. As you can see, I'm doing like little bits to the in, like further in and in and in, every single time with every color that I pick. That's how I blend it into the next one slowly. We might not even need all the oranges that I picked, but we will see how far we get. Okay, that's her skirt. Let's move a little bit up so we can do all the heads. But yeah, I thought let's do something else. Let's do something I like and see how that goes for a change, because I like to change it up, you know, like in which book I color, because doing only the same things over and over again would be boring to me. And I also would like to make color alongs for multiple people, like people that just start out, people that have been coloring for like a long time, so that everybody has something to color. And maybe your taste is different, you know, if you like mythographics more, then I also have some of those. But I do want to just spread my love a little bit. I'm gonna remove my watch for a second because it's hurting my arm. Look, oh, it hurts. It's because I'm sweating, but I will keep it near. That's my alarm for when I fall, but I'm locked in my chair behind my desk, so I can't go anywhere. So I'm okay with removing it. 113, orange glaze. It's the next one, like that one, but it's really close, as you can see. But let's see if it looks nice on the head, because we're almost at the inner part of the mushroom. Like, it's really tiny. So I'll just blend it over the other one to brighten things up. You see how bright that becomes now compared to this? All of a sudden it's as if the light hits it. So I think this one is already done. We only need to add in the yellow afterwards. So I don't think we're going to use this one. We're going to go straight to the yellow probably. Maybe for the dress we will need it. But for the mushrooms, the heads pieces, I don't think we will need it because it's just too small. And that's what I mean. I would like to use more colors, but the spaces are really small. So sometimes you're still stuck with only like 3 shades or tops 4. This is number 4 already, so we're stretching it, you know. It's difficult to add in all the colors that you actually would like. But I'm still trying it. See how far I can get with just these colors. I will go back in with the red as well later when we've done all the shades to darken up some bits. And I also color over some of the dots by accident, as you can tell. So I don't do it on purpose, I just sometimes don't notice them while coloring. But I can always use a paint pen to make them white again, in case I did cover them up. And I think also this needs more layers because it's not smooth enough. It's like you can still see all the pencil texture. Oh, excuse me. I've got some air coming up. Yeah, for this one we've got enough space, so we can do the other two shades as well. So that's good. That makes me happy. Okay, let's go to the next shade for the skirt, which is 111. Cadmium orange. 111. I don't want to color everything in. Like I want to leave some for the yellow. So I don't want to go over everything just yet. This part we've got like enough space to do more. So that's good. I don't want any yellow next to the bug. So that's why I'm coloring in the entire section next to it. Like, you know what? Like, oh my god, like look at this, yeah? You see this dot? If this was a wire, this dot should be there and this one should be there as well. So she maybe also got herself mistaken that this is also a fault of the dress. You see what I mean? Because if it's a wire, that it should continue just like all the other ones. So even the illustrator herself got confused here. Oh yeah, so it's not just my imagination that it's a bit yeah. Okay, well, that's all right. That can happen to anyone, you know. It's easy to make mistakes like that in complicated pictures like these. I already almost colored it as a fold like 2 or 3 times, so yep. Okay, I'm also gonna add it on the top bit of this and on this one as well. Okay, and now we're gonna go for the yellow. I don't wanna like destroy my entire highlight, so I will take my yellow, which is dark cadmium yellow 108, which is a really like orangey yellow, as you can see. Like that one is like really soft, but we're not using that for the dress or the heads. We're using that one. We will use the light one for the sky probably. So now I'm gonna only color the bottom and the top of it and a little bit around because I want to keep some white. This part I will color. And I will also go over some of these highlights to warm it up. But this makes it really like pop because the yellow is really vibrant. I also don't want to make it too harsh. So I think this is already enough. Yeah, you can see it warming up immediately. Beautiful. All right, let's go to the mushroom head. Yeah, we need more red, definitely. But it's good to have a base layer. I also want to keep a little smidge of white on the heads. So we're only adding little bits of the yellow. Because we've got so little space. Am I in view? No, I'm not. Let's move a little bit more. I want to smooth this out. So that's our next step, smoothing this out. So I'm going to add a little bit more on top. Smooth this out completely so it's like burnished with enough pencil layers. Then we will take the red in a second and we will do the same but then from out in. Okay, this is enough for the yellow. Let's take our darkest red, 121, Pale Granium Lake. And we are gonna work our way from outside to inside. Let me see Let me hold my swatch. Let me hold it close to you. Like, this is how it looks like right now. You can really see the texture of the paper. And the goal is to make it as smooth as possible. And that's a lot harder with oil-based pencils. You need a lot more layers usually. So what I do is I'm gonna just go over this a few times so it becomes nice and red. But you can barely see because there's a glare. Let me see if I... not really. I thought maybe if I adjust the light, maybe it will be more visible what it looks like. I will just flip it up from time to time. Yeah, I'm adding a lot more layers now. Yeah, you can see it now. Yes, you can see it. So this part is now completely, you can also see the pencil texture when I do like this. See, it's smooth. So this is what it looks like. It's really like really burnished. So I just added a lot more layer and a bit more pressure. And it immediately looks a lot nicer, as you can see. And we're also going to do it on the other side. And then for the last bit, the one in between the yellow and the red, we're going to take that tone, the middle one from what we used, so that one. That's the next step. We're first going to add in more red to make the contrast between dark and light bigger. And I'm adding more pressure for it to really become red, like so. See how lovely that looks? Now you lose the pencil texture. Like here you can still see the pencil texture from the paper. It's not completely covered. Once we do that, it's a nice smooth blend. My sister actually suggested for me to show how to make nice smooth blends with these pencils, because I usually show the easy way. And today we're gonna make it like nice and blend it out. No pencil texture left. So that's why I'm doing this, because she said she was missing that, because yes, she likes the easier ones, but she also would like to know how to do the next level, you know, that it looks like really pretty and blended and smooth and perfect. So I was like, okay, we're going to do that, but we're not going to do it on a massive picture. We're going to do it on a smaller one. Let me see. That's what it looks like. When I lift it up, you can see it. So I will just lift it up every time I've done a bit. It doesn't take much because it's so small, you know, the spaces. If you've got bigger areas to color, this will take a lot more time. It's really a time-consuming thing if you want to color something with pencils and completely blend it. And if you don't think that's smooth enough, you can also use a blender at the end. That's how that one looks. Okay, let's go to the next one and the skirt. Because the first layer was pretty gentle. And now I'm really adding a lot more pigment to it. Like a lot more. Many more. So I'm making many small movements. You basically did the exact same as what I do in the easier videos, but you just keep going. And usually you need more shades to make it like a nice smooth blend. Sometimes 3 is just not enough. Yeah, there we go. You see what a big difference we have now between the dark and the light. Now we're going to do the same with the skirt. So this part I want really dark. So I'm going to add a lot more pigment. Be careful around the dots because I don't want to have to erase them. Don't want to have to erase the layers and layers of pencil that we're adding right now. This is also how I colored in my own made Disney book. I was making a Disney book with all the stories of like the classics like Snow White, Pinocchio, Dumbo, Ariel, Beauty and the Beast. And this is how I used to color them as well, with a lot of blending, a lot of layers. So it took me hours to finish one page. I would color it all day, every day, almost. Or at least when I was at home, not at school. So that's what I used to do then. So that's why I'm going to show you it on a picture like this that isn't so big. So I hope you enjoy it. But it requires a lot of patience. Just wanted to mention that. So I'm also going over the orange that we placed before, because I like it a bit more to the red side overall, because the orange can be really overpowering. That's why I'm adding more red. We've got a nice base with the other shades. As you can see, I'm going all over her dress. Let me lift it up, see? That's what I added. But I've added a lot more. Like here, you can still see some. But if you don't like that, like now it's almost gone. But this paper has a lot of texture when you really want to blend and smoosh it together. With a wax pencil, that would be easier. So you could do that, but then you can't layer as much. So then you really have to blend them into each other and use less colors probably. But there's a lot of possibilities as well with a wax pencil. So it's not like you can't do it. But just keep in mind that like polychromos can layer on top of each other like so many times. And for instance, Prismacolor, at some point it's just saturated and you just get a wax bloom on top, like the white bloom, and it will just look, well, not nice anymore. So they have got their limitations. But if you're used to using those, you can definitely do the same effect. But I don't own a full set of Prismas. I only have got like 3 pencils because I tested them. I really like them. But I'm not sure yet if I want the full set or not. I've not decided. I decided that I wanted to buy a whole bind set, which I really like the feeling of. So, and depending on if I feel like I'm missing something after buying the whole bind, if I think I'm missing something, then I might consider Prismas, but I'm not sure yet. It really depends. I want this also really dark, so nice thick layer of pencil all the way. See? Completely blended and burnished. Let me hold it even closer, but you can still see the paper. You see what I mean? Like the red part is almost completely covered with pigment, but if this is still not good enough, you can still use a burnisher or a blending tool, like a stump or something, or your finger even. But your finger contains oils, so if you don't want that, use a tool. But like normally your hand would become like completely colored at some point while doing this. So if you want to avoid that, put a paper underneath your hand as well, so you won't smudge anything. Especially with wax pencils, that might be a thing. With oil-based pencils, I think it's a lot less of a problem. Doesn't smudge as much. Okay, I want some more red over here as well. I think I want it a little bit more, so it's more like in a line, like this line, the S curve. You can see what I'm doing, but because of the lighting, you don't really see the end result like this. I will just keep flipping for you guys, so you can have a look in between every move I make. So I'm also going to add in some on this part. Just some, not too much. And on this inner part. And then underneath her skirt, her middle waist skirt, let's call it that, I want a lot more. So adding a lot more pigment, completely saturating the paper. If you can't press too hard, which I cannot, I am pressing, but not too hard. Like you can see that I'm holding a bit closer to the end. Like if you want light pressure, you should hold it here. If you want a lot of pressure, you should hold this as close as possible. So that's why I'm holding it like this. But I always hold it like this. If I do a light layer, I usually hold it like more in an angle, so less of a grip. Because this encourages the dead grip, as I call it, and that hurts your hand. So don't try to squeeze it. Like hold it loosely, or try to hold it loosely, and press a little bit. You can better go over it 10 times than press really hard, because it's going to hurt your hand. Especially if you do an entire page like this, you will hurt your hand, and pretty badly, and sometimes even your wrist as well. So be careful with pressing too hard. It's just a really time consuming job, layering and layering until you've got a burnished effect. So if that's not for you, then maybe pencils is not for you. Or maybe you would prefer wax-based pencils because then it takes a lot less effort. That's also an option, of course. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say. So I think this is enough. Like, see how red it is now? So now I'm going to take the in-between orange, which is 113, which is this 115. No, 100, yeah, 115. Dark cadmium orange, 115. So that is this shade. So it's the one in between everything. And I'm gonna add it in. Like we've got the yellow and the highlight over here. We've got the red there. So everything in between I want to do with this one. So we're doing the same process. We're just gonna color over everything. So we also color a little bit over the red so that you blend it into each other. You see what happens? You literally layer it on top of what you already have. Because you already have like lighter layers underneath, they still shine through. So it warms up your picture a lot. But maybe you, look at this, maybe you find this too orangey. So if you wanted more red, you could pick an even darker red for the outside and use this one as the middle color and like an orange here or a yellow. Doesn't really matter. You can do it both ways. But I really like bright and vibrant, so that's why I picked these colors. Because in the reference picture, it's a lot more brownish red. I like it red, orangey red. So that's just my style. I'm adjusting it to what I prefer. So if you prefer it more brownish, pick more brownish colors. It will work the same. Yeah, I'm blending basically into the existing layers and making it nice and smooth. Really smooth. But this takes time. So yeah, we've only done like the dress and the hats and we're almost already like 45 minutes in, I think, roughly, give or take. So yeah, this is gonna take time. So I'm not sure if we can do this all in one part, but I will see how long it will, how long of a recording I will have once I've finished like this part. I will just keep going, and if it's too long, I will look at my screen from time to time, and if it's really long, then I might chop it up in 2 parts. But if it's like 2.5, 3 hours, I will just keep it in one, because I would prefer to leave it in one piece, like finish it all in one go. But I'm not sure if that's possible, because this is time consuming. Because you can see how long I'm already like going over this little bit, but you can really see the difference. You see, this is the part that we blended, and this is the part that is unblended. You can really see the difference. And in person, this looks like also a bit shiny. Yeah, like a little bit. You can see it if I do like this. But in person, it's a lot more shiny. So that means it's burnished. And if you really want all the white dots gone, you need a blending liquid or a blender stump. And you could do that as well. I'm going to show you that as well after I've done the dress and the hats. We're first going to blend all of this out. And then I will show you how to use the blender. Because I do have one. Or a burnisher. I think I've got a burnisher. Because I gave my blenders to my sister because I don't use them. Don't like them. It's basically like a pencil with wax in it, or oil in this case, because it's an oil-based pencil. But depending on what type of blender it is, it has the base of what this is made of. And usually that's a mix of wax and oil. Depending on the pencil brand, it has more of one or the other. And that's why it mixes in so well without adding more pigment. It basically smears every pigment that's already on the page together. That's how it works. So it smooths out more. which is really pretty, but also a lot of work. I had some requests for color alongs, and one of them is from Green Ivy, the 4 Seasons coloring book. So you can expect to see one of those as well soon. Maybe not this month, September that is. Maybe it will be in October or even November, because I've got a lot of plans for October that have my priority, that I already want to do for so long, that I'm finally gonna do, which I will discuss in a later video. Because if I don't know if people in the coloring world know about Inktober, but that's basically an artist challenge in which you draw every day with ink. And I've been participating in this challenge for like the last, I think 5 years maybe. I think 5 years now. So yeah, I've done it almost every year, but I've done it like in different ways every year. So I started out with doing every day a drawing, but I did like Disney drawings every day with the word, the prompt word, which you get every day. That's what I started out with, and then a few years ago I did my own original art, but that was a bit much to do one every day. So instead of doing one every day, because I tried the first year, but I failed with every day. Like I did it like once every 2 or once every 3 days, and then afterwards I only did like 10, maybe 6, you know. So I minimized the amount. This is how it looks like right now. I like to leave some highlights, so it's not completely like, you see how shiny that is when I do that? Like, look. That's what you get when you burnish it. Okay, let's do the mushroom kits as well, and then I'm going to show you the burnisher. You basically do the same, but you go over everything, adding another layer of wax oil pencil without any pigment. That's basically what you're doing with a blender or a burnisher. I'll have to grab one. So that also gives me the opportunity to show you my new pencil case. I bought a new one because I'm acquiring more and more pencils, it seems. Because I can finally color with them again. So I got really happy and enthusiastic about it. And now I'm like, what am I missing? I'm missing like the really pastel tones and the really vibrant colors. And you know, that kind of stuff, you know, which colors do I want to buy? Do I want a whole set? Do I want just a few? I have no idea yet, but I'm experimenting, and I decided to buy a whole bind for that reason, because not polychromos doesn't work in every book. This is what it looks like after I like burnish with just the pencils. Yeah, beautiful. Okay, let's take the burnisher. So I'm gonna zoom you out for a second. Whoop! And then I'm gonna take my pencil case and I'm gonna show you it as well. So this is my pencil case. It's really big. It's if I open it up, it has a double layer. So you've got one layer here, one there, and on both sides. See, these are my Polychromos pencils, and I've got more. So I also got like all types of other brands, but I'm looking for this is a blender, I think. A Splendor they call it, but it's basically the same. So that's one that we could use. And I've got a burnisher as well. See? So we're gonna use these two because that's usually what you get to blend things out. So I'm gonna move this to the side. Like, it has many layers, you see? And the pencils are all with single elastics, which I love because I hate it when you have to put multiple in one. Okay, so what we will do now, and like now you can really tell. Let me flip it up a little bit so you can tell. Like, it's more orangey red, and I like that. I didn't want it as red, you know. I want the more muted reds in the environment so that they will pop. Okay, so we're gonna use, let me have a feel what it feels like. I like this one better. Okay, we're not gonna use this one. I'm gonna use that one. Let me put it in my holder, so it's better for my hand. Okay, let me zoom you back in. Okay, you basically gonna just color over everything so that you smoosh it together. So you're just gonna start in a corner, and I'm just gonna color over it until you don't see any white anymore. So you just keep going until there's no more white, until it's smooshed into each other. So yeah, you can see why people don't like to do this, because it's time consuming. It takes you at least half more time, like twice as long than when you just stop at some point, you know. But it does have a nice result. So if this is what you're going for, just means that you spend a lot more time on each page in your books, which is totally fine, you know. But if you don't have a lot of time, you might not want to do this. You might want to just stop like a few steps back. I'm just gonna do the whole dress like until here, and then I don't do this part yet, and then I will show you the left part so you can see what it does, so you can see the difference, if it's worth it for you or not, you know. Because maybe you don't think that it's worth the extra effort and the extra step. That's something for you to decide, not me. That's why I'm showing the result to you, so you know how you could get it that smooth. And if you prefer that, that's the way to go. I don't like using solvents on my books because you never know if it makes it bleed through. Because if I, for instance, would use an alcohol marker to blend this, or what's the solution? I lost it. Gamsol, for instance, to blend this, then it could go through on the other side because you don't know what kind of paper you have. Every coloring book reacts differently to solvents, so that's why I avoid them. Plus I don't like the smell of them. That's also a reason why I avoid them. Okay, now I've done it up to here, so I didn't do this part and this part, so I'm going to show you it like nicely close up. So what do you prefer? Like, this is the left side, this part is the burnished one, and this is not burnished, so you can really see that this dotty texture is gone now. You can still see it here, but that's because there's less pigment, because this is just the paper itself, that white bit. So yeah, you can really tell where I didn't use it. Like around the beetle I didn't use it yet, so there's still white from the paper, but this looks really nice and smooth. So that's how you do it. So I'm gonna do the rest of it as well, because now that we have the look on one side, I want it everywhere. So we're gonna do this entire page in this style, completely burnished. I do like the look, you know, but it's really a lot of effort. And sometimes I'm in the mood for that, and other times I'm like, no way that I'm doing that. I just want to color and be done with it. And that's all right as well, you know. Everybody has their own preferences. If you prefer this, then yes, it will take you a long time. And don't feel bad if it does, because that's just the way it is. But if you don't have that time, then also don't feel bad if you do it the other way. Just do some layers and then stop. But that's when wax pencils are really handy, because they give a lot of pigment easy, really easy. So that saves you time as well. So that might be your solution if you're short on time. Alrighty, that's it. Look at that. Beautiful. See the difference to what it was before and what it is now? Like you still see some, but that is something you will keep. Okay, let's do the same on the mushroom heads, on the little kiddos. But yeah, as you can see, I'm using a Derwent Splendor But you can use almost any kind, you know. But this is also for oil-based, I think, the one that I've got right now. But you can basically use any blender. I have not noticed a big difference between brands. I used to also have one from Faber-Castell and, you know, all kinds of. But I didn't use them because I just did it with my pencils instead. So I just kept adding more pencil to get the smooth finish instead of doing this at the end. It is whatever you prefer, you know. But I just wanted to show you in case this is the way you want to go. Did I do this one? I'm not sure. Just going over it one more time. Just in case. I think I did, but I'm not sure now. So yeah, it is beautiful, you know, doing it like this. And I like it. I like it. It reminds me of how I used to color when I wasn't coloring in coloring books. Yes, I like it. Look at that. See how smooth that is on the mushrooms? Oh yes. I love it. Okay, that's the mushroom heads. Okay, let's continue with something else than the mushrooms. I'm going to put this to the side so we can use it. I don't want to use this one, so I'm going to put it away so I don't accidentally grab it. Okay, let's see my picture. This is what we have. So we done the head and the skirt. We've got some flowers, as you can tell. We got their dresses. So I think their dresses can be the green. So that would be pretty for them. Then I might want to make the bells, those things, those flowers, also green. And then the branches and such, you know, the leaf stuff behind it, I want to make that yellowy color. So lighter than them. And then on this side we've got mushrooms. I think I want to do like the more brown tones, like what's in the wing. So more brown to sand color with a yellowish tone, maybe sand tone, maybe like maybe these 3 tones roughly. See, like the wings. Those are the tones. Maybe it's not dark enough, this, but I don't want to go to so dark. So that's why I picked lighter colors. So that's what I want to do for the mushrooms. Then the leaves, I want to probably use the lighter yellow tone again. The part of this flower, those branches, I think I want to make them like these branches, so really dark. And then the flowers on top, I don't know yet. I might leave them like mostly white with some yellow and dark in the middle, like do that a bit of red with brownish tones, and then light yellow on the leaves. Because if I want to make this one a bit brown with some red, that would look good. If this was too dark, that wouldn't look good either. And we also got this one, so I don't know yet what we want with that one, because I want some differentiation. Because we also got a frog and a mouse. We've got a lot. Okay, let's start with their dresses. We want the green. So we want to make something like that. But I'm going to make it brighter than this. So yeah, I'm just going to explain to you what we're doing before we do it. Okay, let's put them in frame. There are 3 of them. The 3 little kids. They could be me and my sisters. Yes, they're me and my sisters, I decided. Okay, let's start with the darkest one, I think. Because these ones, like these muted greens, I also picked. Because I'm not sure if I want to do everything with the same green, if I want to add some green, you know what I mean? So I think I'm going to use the brighter ones for them so that they really pop. So we're going to start with the darkest, 266. And it's called Permanent Green. And we're going to do the same as we did with the heads. We're going to make the sides dark and next to the folds. But there are not many. You can see a line here. So this is a part that we want dark on the side. And on this side as well. Roughly like this. A little bit to the bottom. And then on the sleeve I want it on the bottom bit, like so. And a little bit underneath the chin area. And then this time I'm going to use a lot more pigment than what we did with the mushroom head. So I'm going to go over it again Press a little bit more so there's a lot more pigment, so we don't have to go back, hopefully. Yes, beautiful. Okay, next one. Is that her hand? Yes, that's her hand. Okay, good. The underneath part of her dress, a little bit underneath the chin. I also want some there. So I'm imagining the light coming from the front. So like this, roughly. So that means that the front bit of them, so these parts will be light. So the shadows all fall on the sides and behind objects, roughly. So that's the idea that I have. That's why I use shadows on both sides. It's easier for me to do the same on. I do some shading next to the folds of the dress. Not too many. All right. I think that's enough for this one. Then we go to number 3, which doesn't show any hands and has some folds here on the top bit. Okay, and some on the bottom. She's disappearing behind the leaves. I like it. All right, next green. The next green is 112, which is this one. It is leaf green, 112. So I'm just gonna blend it into the previous one and use a lot of pigment. Yeah, we're probably not going to use every shade that I picked because they're so tiny. So I only leave a little bit in the middle that's white. We're going to use the lightest green on that one. I want the characters to be like the thing you focus on when you look at this page. That's why I use bright colors on them. And I use it a lot darker as well because I want it lighter towards the background. Like I want the sky a really faint yellow. That's why I'm making them a lot darker. You could also do it the other way around. Make them really light and make the background really dark. It's also a nice effect. But yeah, it depends on what you're going for, you know, which vibe you like. I like vibrant, so that's why I'm doing vibrant. Okay, this one has some more like light part, but that's alright because her skirt is a little bit more visible. This one the same. I want also some more light bits. So I'm only gonna color the bottom. Her chest piece I want to color completely, and then on the sleeves I also want some of the lighter color. So on these ones I do actually the opposite of this, as you can tell. But yeah, you could still do the sides dark, but at least I do them the same way. So even if it's not correct, it will still look nice. So now I take the lightest one that I've got, which is 171. Light green something. It will be on the screen. Because I can't read the name. It's underneath my extender. Okay, so for this one, I'm gonna just color over the previous layer and only do it on the bits that we haven't colored yet. You can also use the lightest color to blend out your what you already done instead of using a blender. I will still leave a little bit of white, like a really tiny little bit of white, and everything else I will color. So I've got a white dot here and a white part here, like really tiny. I'm not sure if you can even tell. Let me lift it. Yeah, you can tell. That one you can definitely tell, but that one is literally next to the spot. And I also got some white on the edges. Like it is colored, but it looks still white because of the dark line. So for this one I will do the same. I'll blend out what I've got. And I will leave a white spot in the middle. So yeah, this is how I used to make it burnished with the lightest tone. We'll just go over the other parts like so and blend it out that way instead of the Splendor, blender, whatever tool you have. And that works just as well, see? And if you think this is too stark of a difference, like from the darkest to the lighter one, you can also use an in-between shade as well. In person, it doesn't look as much of a difference. On screen, it looks a lot worse. It looks like it's really dark on the side. Well, it really isn't. On this one, I want the highlights on the folds on her belly. Just because that looks nice. Like so. Blend everything else out. Yes. Yeah, you can see that. See? So now they're nice and green dresses. I also want some green on her. So I think I'm gonna make her top green. Just to keep everything roughly the same look. Ugh, itch. I'm gonna go back to the darkest shade, which is the permanent green, 266. Her arms are okay. So these ones, a little bit. Let's see, her shoulders also skin, okay. Just looking what is what right now. Alright, then this is shaded. So I do a lot of pigment on the side and then I do a lighter layer towards the inner part so I can blend it more into the lighter green. Because again, this one has more space than those tiny little gnomes kids. That's why I'm using more of this one. I'm using it on the lines that the illustrator made. And then I blend it out from there. Like so. Then we take the next one, which is 112 leaf green. I just had to check where her arm was. This is here. I don't want the highlight underneath the arm. I want the highlight on the top bit. So that's why I'm blending this one out into the darker green. I'm leaving the ruffles of the skirt or the shirt. I don't know how to call it. Her top. I leave them white for now because I don't know if I want them green as well. Maybe I want them yellowish or brown. I don't know yet. Oh, I colored her arm accidentally. Hold up. All right. I'll do some shading underneath her accessory. I think it's some kind of bell or something. I'm gonna pretend it is. I don't know if it is, but I think it is. Gonna make some shading next to her arm because of the puffy sleeves. And this is probably her, no, it's not her skin because here's the, okay, so this also should be colored. But I'll leave an edge white. Okay, let's go to the lightest shade, just like we did with the little ones. We're going to 171. And let's color in some more. Again, I leave a little white highlight on this one. The other ones are almost entirely colored. Adding more layers on what I already did to blend it out. Also doing it on this part to blend it out so it's nice and smooth. All right, that's it for that. Let me lift it up. That's how it looks without using the Splendor. It's not really different. Okay, that's the green. Then we need a lot more yellowish orangey tones in the background. So let's start with the leaves now. We're gonna start with, because I want to keep them pretty light. I want to use these two, those really light tones. I want to use them for the background. So I want to use probably this, maybe that one for the leaves, something like these two and the scent. So let's start with the 108, which is dark cadmium yellow. But we also have some green leaves. Look, we've got some more greenish leaves. Got the orangey brown yellow. We're now gonna use the orangey brown yellow for these back ones, the grass bit. These ones I want to make the more greeny ones. So that's next after the grass. So now we're gonna do the grass. So we're gonna start with the yellow. Let me see if I can, yeah. Okay, let me think, because I also said something about brown for the, no, we're not gonna use brown in the these bits. Just want to use the yellow, keep it light in the back. She's sitting on one. Okay, I'm just gonna use a light layer on the entire grass bit, just so I know where it stops and where it ends, you know, because I have no idea where exactly the grass is. This gives me some more overview of where they are. Okay, that's the ones. This is a branch, but I think if I want to make them green, yeah, I can use some yellow on this. Okay, let's move you a little bit up, because there's more grass over here. And I just said I wanted to make this yellowy brown as well. So let's just do that. So I'm gonna just color this entire bit with the yellow really lightly. Just a little bit to the left underneath them. Gonna do some of the background right now. Not everything, but some. Just so that we know what's left. Because I do want enough contrast so you can see the layers, you know. So you can define what is in front, what is in the back. Because right now it looks like one big blob. That's also why I'm doing like a base layer. To see what is what. Because like she draw in like a little bit of chunky grass. So you could do from light to dark to the foreground. You know what I mean? That's something we could do. I'm not sure if I want to. Maybe I just want to leave it light. But go from like light to dark to this one. And then light to dark again, something like that, maybe. Don't know yet, but I will color it in. I will leave a part white on the top bit for this one, just in case I do want to make it from light to dark. This way I've got options. Just adding in a really light layer. Let's color the entire foreground with this shade. As you can see, it's really light. This way you also get more of a feel of what the picture is gonna look like once you edit in all the colors. That's usually what I do. I usually like shade every bit a little bit with the color that I would like to use, and then I will go and do this. But this time I went straight in and just went for the burnishing effect straight away, because I knew that I wanted those at least like this. And everything else I have no idea just yet exactly what I want. This is why I'm doing the light layers right now, just to find out what I would like to add where. So it's nicely spread around. There's some grass over here. Let's shade that in. So a little bit here. Yep. That's his tail. That's, I don't know. That's a branch. Let's just do them all the same, the branches for now. If I want any brown on them, I can always go back in, because it's a really light layer what I'm adding right now. Maybe it will be just nice like this. Alright, that's the yellow. Let's go back to the grass bits. Let's add in some of the sand tone. I'm not gonna put in the orange because I think it will be too bright compared to them. So instead, like, I'm gonna show you it one more time. Like, I'm trying to do like this kind of shading, something like it, not as exactly the same. So I'm gonna pick out that one for now, so I can make the darker bits, and then I can see if I need more color or if that's enough. I want to do as little as possible in the background. 182. Brown ochre. So that's usually how I go about it. If I don't know what I want, I just add in color by color over the whole picture to see if I like it, because then you can change it. You can see these lines over here as well and over here, so that's why I'm gonna add in the brown roughly. So I want it blended out here and then lighter, and I also want it on the leaf, I think. I'm gonna leave those leaves till I do the other ones at the bottom as well. So I'm just following her shading basically on these bits. Okay, and I do the same for the other ones. You can already see that it looks a lot different than just with the yellow. I want some shadow underneath her feet. Not too much though. And on the bottom bit of the grass thing, I also want some shadow. Yeah, that looks really nice. Like, I want it really light here, but this already looks really dark because of the line work that's underneath. Like, it's the same kind of shading, but this still looks really dark in comparison, just because of the line work. Okay, let's keep going. Some shadow next to her. Yes, lovely. I shaded in this part because there's a fold, so this is below. That's why I shaded that in, but yeah, officially, like when the light comes like this, it shouldn't be, but it comes a little bit from above now. And that's still consistent with what I'm doing, so that's good. As long as you keep thinking about it in that way, it will work. But yeah, this grass is not really realistic the way it is drawn. Like, these kind of lines is not realistic. Like, it stops here and then all of a sudden you've got lines here as well. Like, okay, it's a bit weird. And that's why I'm also like adding the shading in weird ways, so that it still looks good. Yeah, I like it. Let me flip it up. Beautiful. That's exactly what I wanted. I don't want the orange in there because that would make it too poppy, and it would make it pop, and that's not what I want for the background. I want it to I want them to pop, and they do, so that's good. Yes, I like it a lot. So let's add some of this color on the line work. A little bit on this. Don't want to add too much. I think that's enough. This one I didn't do anything just yet because I wasn't sure what I wanted for those. There's a lot going on this tiny little bit. So let's color in the background a little bit darker around it. Yeah, that looks all right. Okay, I think I might want to make this a little bit darker than that one because otherwise it will blend in with each other. So instead of only using this one, I will also use the brown. So I'm going to use this one as my lightest color. So I'm going to give it a little bit of color with this one. Not too much, just some. And then I will come back with a darker brown. For these ones, like for these parts, if you want to blend it out, you should use the blender tool because you don't want to add more pigment. You want to keep it nice and light. So you could also do that with a white pencil, the burnishing. Just depends on what you prefer. But keep in mind, if you put a white pencil on top, it sometimes dulls the colors a little bit. Or it gives some kind of, like, well, a layer on it. Like, I don't know how to describe it. You can see the difference when you do that. Yeah, I like that. I think I'm gonna leave this for now. Because I don't know if I want it light in the foreground or dark. I haven't decided yet. Let's follow this all the way down to this side at the very least. So that part is the same, give or take. Roughly the same. That's the mushroom. This way the picture is at least connected on both sides. It has the same style. Okay, I think up to there roughly. And then we go up. We do the same with the flower parts. Shade where the lights are. For these ones there are no lines, so I'm just going to do the bottom. Blend it out. Yes, beautiful. It already looks so much darker just because of the line work. Okay, now at least the background is the same. Okay, then I want some darker brown for those, so let's do that as well. The 280, let's see, where is it? It's over here. It is called Burnt Umber 280. Okay, I will color over the bits that she has the line work for now. Let's see how that looks if we do that on those spots. See what it will do. Is that enough? Maybe it is. Okay, I'm gonna do the same on this one because I think it can use a little bit more dark. Just a tiny bit. Yes. Okay, I want some on this one so it pops out of the back. I'm gonna add some more in on the parts that we haven't colored yet. Just so it shows up a little bit better because it's blending in too much with the background. That's why I'm adding some more to this branch. Like right now it pops out of the background and that's what I wanted. So I think we done that part a little bit darker, which is fine. Let's see. Yes, I didn't do that on those, so I'm not going to do that on the other side. These ones are only on the left, they're not here, so that's good, so we don't have to do that. But these ones I probably want some of the darker browns as well, because I want to make them as well with some brown tones. So let's add in some shading underneath the mushroom. Color it in like that. I'm going to do the same with this one, all the way underneath the mushroom. I think this one is probably also the mushroom, because I can see something there. Add it also on the line work. Okay, softer to the top, so we can blend it out with the other brown. And for this one I'm going to do the same. I'm just going to treat them all the same. This one is a lot smaller, so it might be a bit difficult. So I picked a lot of pages for this month, and this one was not one of them, by the way. I'm actually coloring this on the 30th. Is it 30? 30th of August. Yeah. So it's the 30th of August when I'm recording this, but you will see this in September as the first color along. So I just fill them whenever I feel up for it, and I'll then just spread them out through the month. So this will be the first one for September that you will see. So yeah, that's how I do it. I just record whenever I feel like, and then I take time to edit it, because editing takes a lot of time. If I've got like 3 hours of footage, it probably takes you just as long to edit it, if not longer. So that's why I take my time now, because at the beginning I was like filming like in the morning, for instance, or something, and then I wanted to edit it later in the day, and then I uploaded it in the evening. You know where this goes, right? And then I made it public straight away when it was done, and that took me like the whole day. Like, no, that stressed me out, so I stopped doing that. So now I just film whenever I feel like it, then I edit maybe the day after or the day after that, you know, whenever I feel like it, and then I upload it maybe that same day. But that's all right, because the uploading is not the hard part, you know, the editing and the coloring is. Like, now we've done the shading bits on the mushrooms. That looks nice. It's going to be a lot more colored in later, but I don't know yet what I exactly want. We could do like yellow, excuse me, we could do yellow with like greenish dots, or we could do a greenish mushroom with like brownish dots, like the brown that we used in the grass. I think that would look better if we use some green, because this is all going to be a bit yellowy. So if we do some green on these, that will make it pop. And this one will be the bright green, just like the dresses again, so it will pop. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. And these ones will be the muted green. Oh, but then we can also do the muted green on those. I forgot about that. We will do the muted green on those mushrooms. Let's do that now that I've thought about it. I'm also going to use this brown on the inside of the bells, so that they end up a little bit darker. This one doesn't have an inside, but that's okay. Let's add in a little bit so it will become darker. If I put this underneath and then put the green on top, it will become a lot darker. Just like when these lines are there, immediately it shows a lot darker. See? If you see this or that, that looks like a different color. It's the same. That's because of the line work. And the same effect you get with this. If I put that down here, then this will look different, even if I use the same color. That's why I'm adding in the brown on these bits now, so that this will end up darker than that bit. That's something you can do with layering pencils, which is beautiful. Okay, I think that's all I want to do for now with the brown. Then let's go to one of those muted greens. I've picked 3 of them. So that one, and that one. We're going to start with the darkest one, 174. Let me move them. Hold up. Because they're underneath my blotter paper. I'm just going to move my pencils out of the way so I don't have to reach underneath. That is not nice. Let's move it in frame again. We're going to start with those. So we're going to use the darkest one, which is Chromium Green Opaque 174. It's getting dark. I should hold up. Give me 1 second. Okay, and I'm back again. I just closed my curtains because it was getting a bit of an aquarium effect that everybody can see me. I had another thought. I thought I said I wanted those greenish. Let me see. Yes, I did say that. But you also have got like this shade. So if we do that shade on the leaves, so darker than these, so we keep these like more, let me put it in frame. If we use these ones on the bells and use the more, that one more on the leaves, then there's still contrast between them, because otherwise it looks all the same, and that's not nice. So let's do the lightest one on those and then the darker one on that and the mushroom bits. So the bottom one, I want the darker shade, and the lighter greens I want on the top bits. This one only has 1 layer, so we just make it a blend from darker to light. So yeah, that's the plan. Just wanted to tell you that before we start. Okay, let's start with the darkest one, 174. Let's keep going. So I will use this on the bottom, the inside, to color, so it becomes nice and dark. I think it's getting later in the evening. I started just after dinner with recording, and right now it is, what time is it? Yeah, it's almost 8 o'clock. So it's almost time for me to start stitching, because I usually stitch from 8 to 10 in the evening. So that's when I usually stop coloring. So I think that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna finish off those flowers and the mushrooms, and then I'm gonna stop for today. And then I will continue recording on a different day. So it will be a 2-part video, this one. I'm going to tell you that one, because I don't want to be here for too long. It will make me exhausted, and that's not what I want. So I have to keep that in mind as well. I'm going to color over the brown that we did with this really, like, what kind of green would you call this? Olive green. I would call it poopy green. Yeah, like I placed it on top. I'm not sure if you know, you can't really tell. On this one you can tell it has like a grayish green tone. That's what I like about it. So let's also put it underneath here. Just some effects. I don't want it on the entire bit, I just want it on parts. Yes, I like that, the really dark bits. Okay, let's do it also on this part, because I wanted that one a lot darker as well. On these ones I'm ignoring those tiny dots. I'm just coloring it as if it's one big place. But as you can see, I'm making a bit of a wobbly texture. That's because of the shape of the mushroom. That looks better than making it a straight line. That's why I'm doing it that way. Making it nice and dark for some contrast. Also on the bottom. And next to her dress. As well, some more shading. Yeah, I like that. Let's do a little bit of that on these lines. Not too much. Just some. Really light layer. I'm gonna do the same on this one. Really light layer on the line bits. There's some kids playing outside which are screaming, so if you hear kids, that's outside. There's not much I can do about it if you can hear them. They're playing outside at this time. Yep, okay. I also want some on these bits, just some. Yes, beautiful. Okay, let's go to the more lighter green. We're going to that one. That's the lightest one I've picked. So we're going to 168 now, which is not this one, it's this one. It is called Earth Green Yellowish 168. Let's color over it. So I'm gonna color over this bit that we haven't colored yet. I'm gonna leave a little bit of white on the edge just to make a difference between the background. I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep it, but for now I will. If I don't like it, I can always cover it up later, just for some contrast, you know. And I'm thinking about doing the same with this bit, but I'm not sure yet. I think so, yeah. I think I want one here and one here. So 2 little highlights. Yeah, roughly. You don't see them as much, but they are really there. See? They are there. I like that. Okay, let's color over these bits. Yeah, we're making this more muted. So we're keeping the characters really bright and the background more muted. I like it. That pushes them back as well by doing that. That's a spot as well. Okay. I also want some shading next to her. Just some, not much, just some like that. And underneath the mouse I also want some shadow. Just some. Underneath his tail. And then I will follow those lines again. I do want it also on the bottom. And on the side, just like we did with the heads. As you can see, I'm not doing the same kind of shading on everything, you know, like I try to do it the same way, but sometimes I don't. But it's also because I'm both doing like the sides underneath, but I also follow these lines, so it's a bit different because of the mushrooms. For that reason, I also want some next to this line. Okay, the other side, I've got those. I only want some next to the attachment, and everything else I just want to color with the other shade. So I'm only gonna use it on this bit on them, otherwise they get too dark and I'm afraid they blend in with those. Normally I would make the flowers like pink and purple and you name it, you know, but this time we're using the color palette, so I don't want to do that this time. We're going for 170 May green. So now I'm gonna blend it out to the edge, but I want to leave the ends a little bit of white, so they stand out like that. I don't want to color all the way till the edge. And the same with these in between parts. I want some white, so they don't, so that it doesn't touch the outer line. Not sure if I'm explaining it right. You can see it like this is white. Do the same here. This is white, so that you have a differentiation between the leaves. Otherwise they blend into each other and it becomes a blob, and that's not what I want. I want to have them a little bit separated from each other. Like on this one that's a lot harder because there are no in-between lines. So then I just leave the highlight till roughly about there. Yeah, that looks nice. This way you still get the contrast that I want without coloring everything. So this one I do the same. I leave the outer bit white and I color everything else just in with this one. See, that looks really nice. I like it like this. Nice and muted. Yeah, I love this. I like the look of this. Look how lovely. Yep, like it. But you can see, because they've got a different green, they still pop. Even though they are also green, but they're more muted. It does work. So this is also really nice. Looks more like moss now. I like it. I like it a lot. Okay, let's keep going. I'm gonna color in the rest of the mushroom. I do want some white on the top bit, so I don't know how far I want to just color everything in. Let's see, because I also want to color those spots. I think I want them in either yellow or brown tone. Not sure yet. Okay, in here somewhere I want a lighter spot with the highlight over here. Like this. See? That's where I leave the highlight. It's a pretty big one. See? That, just like my finger. It's pretty big. And on this one I also want to leave a highlight. But I think I'm going to leave this edge as a highlight maybe. And I color the bottom bit and I leave that white as well. So I have got some highlights because this one is a bit difficult to leave highlights on otherwise. I do color next to the feet because there should be some shadow. So I'm gonna leave this one as a highlight. Okay, I also want the bottom. Oh, I forgot that one. The one he's sitting on. But maybe I should do that a different color because of the frog itself. It's too much green otherwise. Yeah, I think that's better. Maybe we're gonna make this brown with the sand tone. Let's do that instead. Okay. No, I'm not gonna do that today. I'm gonna do the green ones because I'm gonna stop soon. Let's just keep going. Okay, the spots. That's the last thing we're gonna do for today, the spots. And then we'll continue next time in part 2 because this is never gonna work. We're gonna be here in another 2 hours and we're still not done. Okay, yellow or brown? What shall we do? Because if I look at the picture, like this is more like his pants. And then the orangey tone looks really nice. That's probably like her dress a little bit. And then you see the really dark or white. So yeah, we could leave it, but I don't think that would be nice. So I think maybe a little bit of yellow. Maybe. Let's see. We're gonna use the 108 dark cadmium yellow. I'm gonna go for yellow. Because I use like a muted brownish tone here as well, it doesn't pop as much. So I think if I use some yellow on the bottom and leave the tops of it white, I think we should get away with it. Yes, I think this is good enough. So I don't color everything, I just color bits of it. Yeah, I like it like this. Let's use some yellow on these ones as well. Just to keep it a little bit the same around the highlight bits. Like that. See? Just a little bit. So I added some here around it and there. So it looks a little bit the same. I like it. I like it a lot. And I do like this highlight, even though it doesn't make any sense. If it would be a highlight, it would be on the front bit, not on the side. But I like it. The same with this. I like it. Yes, I think I'm gonna leave it here for today. So I'm gonna zoom you out. So this is how far we have gotten. I'm gonna lift it up for you so you can see what it really looks like. this is how much we've done. That's not much in 1 hour and 45 minutes, but it's okay. But as you can see, if I pull it closer, you can see that the mushrooms are not blended out. And I should use the burnisher pencil or the Splendor pencil on it to blend it out. But I will do that next time. So just so you know that that's still an option. But you could also say no, I only blend out the characters and I don't do that for the background. That's also an option because then they pop even more. So that's also an option. So I think I'm just going to continue next time with everything else and we'll see where it goes. So yeah, this is part 1. I hope you enjoyed it and I'll see you back for part 2. Bye bye.